Hello students, welcome to this video. In this video we will discuss about the shape factor and the radiation shield pertaining to thermal radiation. In the previous videos, our discussion was restricted to radiation properties, physical relation and radiation process that occur at a single surface. In this particular video, we will consider the radiation heat exchange between two or more surfaces. So such type of radiation exchange depends on the surface geometries, surface orientation, as well as their temperatures and the radiative properties. Okay, so we will consider that the surface are separated by a non participating medium. Okay, so such a medium such medium neither emits or absorbs nor scatters any amount of radiation energy. So moreover, such medium has no effect on radiative heat transfer between bodies. Okay, so initially the geometrical features of radiating surface is considered by introducing a new parameter which is called as a view factor or a shape factor. Okay, so then after this, then the radiation heat transfer between black bodies and thereafter between diffuse gray surface can be discussed. Okay, so we will see what is shape factor or view factor. So shape factor or view factor is defined as the fraction of radiative energy that is diffused from one surface element and strikes the other surface directly with no intervening reflection. Okay, so it is also known as a view factor, angle factor, geometric factor and configuration factor. So it can be called by any name such as angle factor, geometric factor, configuration factor, view factor, etc. Okay. So it is purely a function of geometry of two surfaces, the orientation of one surface with respect to the other surface, and the space between the two radiating surface. Okay, so it is independent of surface properties and temperatures. So it is independent of surface properties and temperatures. Okay, so the view factor of surface I with respect to the surface J is denoted by Fij. Okay, Fij, or this the surface 1 to the view factor from a surface 1 to surface 2 is denoted by F1 to 2, or sometimes they will call it as surface I1 instead of surface I, and surface 2 instead of surface J. Okay, okay, in any by any name they can call, but finally you should know the shape factor or view factor of surface 1 with respect to the surface 2 is denoted by F1 to 2 or Fi to J, and is defined as the ratio of radiation energy leaving the surface 1 or I that strikes the surface J or 2 directly, okay, to the total energy leaving the surface I. So Fi to J or F1 to 2J is equal to the radiation energy leaving surface I and that reaches the surface J directly divided by total energy leaving the surface I. Okay, So therefore the view factor 1 to 2 represents the fraction of radiation energy leaving the surface 1 and that strikes the surface 2, and view factor is f2 to 1. Okay, so which represents the fraction of radiation energy leaving the surface 2 and that strikes the surface 1 directly. For special case of j is equal to I, then fi to I or f1 to 2. If it is surface 1 and 2 are equal, then it is called as f1 to 2. Okay, so then there are several rules. Okay, which very important one is reciprocity rule. The view factor fi to j is not equal to fj to I unless the areas of two surfaces are equal. Okay, so it can be shown like ai fi to j is equal to aj f j to I, or a1 f1 to 2 is equal to a2 f2 1 when two areas are equal. When a when the areas are equal. Okay, so this expression is termed as a reciprocity rule and it is very useful in determining one view factor from the knowledge of the other. Okay, so next we will see some important view factor relations, okay, or salient features of shear factor. Before going to discuss about salient features, we will see what are the important view factor relations, okay, or salient features. Uh, J factor is purely a function of geometric parameters and the surface orientation only, and the view factor ranges between always it is 0 to 0 and 1. It is ranges between 0 and 1, and f1 to 2 is equal to 0 indicates the two surfaces do not see each other directly. F1 to 2 is equal to 0, that means it do not see each other directly. So that is one more salient feature of shear factor. And f1 to 2 is equal to 1, that indicates the surface 2 is completely surrounded by surface 1. When shear factor f1 to 2 is equal to 1, that indicates the surface 2 is completely surrounds the surface 1. Okay, then the radiation that strikes the surface does not need to be absorbed by that surface. It does not need to absorb by the surface. Then f11 is the function of radiation leaving the surface 1 that strikes itself directly. F11 that indicates the function of the fraction of radiation leaving the surface 1 that strikes 1 again that same surface directly. Okay, so f11 is equal to 0 for a plane or convex surface, and f11 is not equal to 0 for concave surface. You can able to see here for flat and convex surface the view factor f1 to 1 or fi to I with respect to itself is always 0. Okay, that means the energy once leaving the surface never returns the same surface. For the concave surface the shear factor with respect to itself is never 0. Radiation energy coming out a portion of that surface will be absorbed by the other portion, or f1 to 1 or fi to I is does not equal to 0. So you can able to see in that figure the three elementary situations in which the value f1 to 2 is evident by or f1 to 1 or fi to I is evident by the using just this definition. Okay, next equal parallel plates or rectangles is which is in opposite location. Equal parallel plates or rectangles in opposite location In this case, then uh, the, the shape factor can be found by referring data handbook page number 92 and 93. The value of shape factor 1 to 2 can be defined or can be obtained from the graph and table. Okay, for that graph we have to calculate the value of x and y. X is equal to L by D. L is nothing but length of the plate and D is the distance between the two plates, whereas y is equal to b by d. B is width or breadth of the plate and d is the distance between the two plates. Okay, by calculating x and y and referring the graph, we can able to calculate what is the shape factor for parallel plates or rectangles which is placed in opposite direction. Next, for perpendicular rectangles, like this, you can able to see there are two rectangles which is placed in right angles to each other. In such case, you can able to see area A1 is the area of one surface and A2 is the area of other surface. L1 and L2 is the length of 1 and 2 respectively, and breadth is common. Okay, then referring the page number 94 and 95 in using data handbook, the value of shape factor can be calculated by using graph and table, and here also we can calculate the value of z and y. Z is equal to length of the second surface and breadth L2 by B, and y is equal to L1 by B, where L1 is length of the first surface and B is the breadth. So by calculating z and y and using graph, we can able to calculate f1 to 2. Okay, then infinite parallel planes like this, then the value of shape factor is always 1. Okay, because uh, it is infinite parallel plates and its value is always uh, it goes to summation rule. Okay, then it is also available in page number data handbook in page number 84. And then for concentric cylinders and spheres, this also the value of shape factor is 1, because body 1 is completely surrounded by body 2. Okay, next we will see what is the radiosity in radiation. It is termed as J. Okay, so radiosity is defined as total radiation leaving a surface per unit time per unit area. Okay, so radiosity is defined as the total radiation leaving a surface per unit time per unit area. So it is expressed in watt per meter square. So in preceding the videos, the heat exchange between black bodies has been discussed, isn't it? So the analysis was very simpler because black bodies do not reflect any amount of incident radiation. But in a practical application, most of the enclosures have non-black surfaces which allow multiple surface reflections. Therefore, the analysis of radiation heat transfer for such enclosures becomes very complicated. So the analysis of radiation exchange in such enclosures may be simplified by making certain assumptions. So here you can able to see opaque and non-black surface. Total radiation, incident radiation is G. So it is irradiation. Okay, so it is reflected back in terms of rho G. So E is equal to emissivity into energy radiated by the black body. So this is termed as rho G and E termed as radiosity. J is equal to rho G plus G into EB. Okay, So these assumptions are each surface in an enclosure is opaque or opaque body or diffuse and gray, and each surface of the enclosure is isothermal, and each surface of the enclosure is characterized by uniform radiosity and irradiation. Uniform radiation and irradiation. So radiosity consists of radiation emitted from the surface and radiation reflected by the surface. That means radiosity is uh, radiation emitted. Radiosity consists of radiation emitted from the surface and radiation reflected by the surface. Okay, so therefore J is equal to rho G into emissivity into EB. Okay, this you can able to see in data and book. So for opaque body, alpha plus rho is equal to 1 because tau is equal to 0, that we know. Okay, what is tau? Tau is nothing but transmittivity. Okay, absorptivity and reflectivity is the sum of absorptivity, summation of absorptivity and reflectivity is equal to 1. So therefore rho is equal to 1 minus alpha, which means alpha is equal to emissivity. So according to Kirchhoff law, so we can able to write 1 minus emissivity. So therefore J is equal to 1 minus emissivity into G, because rho is nothing but 1 minus emissivity into emissivity into EB. So therefore G is equal to J minus emissivity into EB divided by 1 minus emissivity. Okay, so I hope you understood this. If we write electrical network analogy for thermal radiation, then we can able to write like this. So you can able to see the same figure what I shown in last slide. The same figure. This G is the total radiation, and this J is total radiosity. The surface is non-black surface. So, this is the uh, thermal radiation. Okay, so we can write therefore total net energy leaving the surface Q by E is equal to J minus G, because J is the radiosity and G is the irradiation. Q by E is equal to J minus, now G is we know what is G. G is nothing but J minus emissivity into EB divided by 1 minus emissivity. So simplifying that, we can able to get J into 1 minus emissivity minus J into emissivity into EB divided by 1 minus emissivity. So taking the common term, we will get emissivity into EB minus J divided by 1 minus emissivity. So therefore Q is equal to EB minus J divided by 1 minus emissivity into 1 minus emissivity divided by E into emissivity. So where 1 minus emissivity divided by E into emissivity is called as surface resistance, or the resistance, thermal resistance of due to thermal radiation. Okay. Next we will try to derive uh, some relation for two infinite parallel gray planes exchanging radiant energy, or radiation heat exchange between diffuse or gray surface. So here as I mentioned earlier, we have to make some assumptions like the each surface is an enclosure, or each surface in an enclosure is opaque, diffuse and gray, and each surface of the enclosure is isothermal, and each surface of the enclosure is characterized by uniform radiosity and irradiation. Okay. So consider the exchange of radiant energy between two gray surface, which means non-black 1 and 2. Total radiation which leaves surface 1, the total radiation which leaves the surface 1, the amount of that reaches 2 is J1, A1, F1, 2. Okay, so the total radiation which leaves the surface 1, that means here you can able to see this is a surface 1 and this is surface 2. So this surface is at temperature T1 and the surface 2 is temperature T2. The area of the surface is A1 and emissivity is 1, and this is A2, emissivity 2. Okay, So in between you can able to see there are two radiosity J1 and J2. So J1 is from A1 1 to 2 and J2 is in between 2 to 1. Okay. So the total radiation which leaves surface 1 that strikes the or the amount of that reaches 2 is J1 A1 F1 2. Similarly, the net heat radiated by surface 2 is received by the surface 1 is J2 A2 F2 1. Okay. So therefore net heat exchange Q1 to 2 is equal to J1 A1 F1 to 2 minus J2 A2 F2 1. This is a net heat exchange between from 1 to 2. Okay. But by reciprocity theorem A1 F1 to 2 is equal to A2 F2 1. Therefore Q1 to 2 is equal to A1 F1 to 2 is a common term J1 minus J2, or this can be written as J1 minus J2 divided by 1 by A1 F1 to 2, where 1 by A1 F1 to 2 is called as phase resistance between two surfaces. Phase resistance between two surfaces. Okay. Next we can able to write, therefore Q1 to 2 is equal to EB1 minus EB2. EB stands for energy which is emitted by the surface 1. Okay, EB1 minus EB2, which is equal to 1 minus emissivity 1 divided by A1 E1 epsilon 1 plus 1 by A1 F1 2 plus 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by A2 epsilon 2. Okay. So by simplifying we can able to get that this EB is nothing but we know by Stefan Boltzmann law, the sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4. Okay, so sigma is constant term, so sigma T1 to the power 4 minus sigma T2 to the power 4. Sigma is common term, so T1 minus T2 to the power 4 into sigma, and this is the common term. So we can able to get this is also equal to Fg1 to 2 is sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4, where Fg1 to 2 is called as Gray factor, which is called as 1 by 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by A1 epsilon 1 plus 1 by A1 F1 2 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus A2 epsilon 2. Okay, this is available in data handbook page number 84. So assuming the configuration or shape factor of either surface unity and constant surface area, then A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A, and F1 to 2 is equal to 1. Therefore we can able to write Q1 to 2 is equal to sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 by A epsilon 1 plus 1 by A plus 1 by 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by A into epsilon 2. Okay, but this is the final equation to find the amount of heat transfer from 1 to 2. Okay. Therefore Q1 to 2 is equal to, then we can simplify to A into sigma, where we can take A to the numerator area, A into sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus 1, because here earlier we had 1 by A, so that A going to numerator, that's why 1 is remaining, then 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 2. Okay, so by simplifying again further in the numerator things, we will get Q, therefore Q1 to 2 is equal to A into sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. Okay, so this whole term that is 1 minus 1 by 1 by 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1 is termed as F1 to 2. So we can write this equation as Q1 to 2 is equal to F1 to 2 into A into sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4, where F1 to 2 is equal to this one. Okay, 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. Okay, so similarly this is for plane parallel plates. We can similarly we can derive for radiating bodies or concentric cylinders as well as concentric sphere. Concentric cylinders means this is a sketch. From this we can able to get there are two cylinders, cylinder 1 and cylinder 2. Cylinder 2 is surrounded by cylinder 1 is surrounded by cylinder 2. So you can able to see, and you can write the equation like this for initial equation. Then Q1 to 2 is equal to emissivity of body 1 plus, minus emissivity of body 2, the whole divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 plus by A1 epsilon 1 plus 1 by A1 F1 2 plus 1 by epsilon 2 divided by A2 epsilon 2. So simplifying further we will get like this, and finally Q1 to 2 is equal to sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 by A1 into 1 minus epsilon plus 1 by 1 by epsilon 1 minus epsilon 1 divided by epsilon 1 plus 1 plus 1 by epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 2 into A1 by A2, where A1 and A2 are calculated for cylinders, and substituting the value, then we will get like this final equation. Similarly, next for radiating bodies or concentric spheres, we can that also we can able to write like this. Okay, Q1 to 2 is equal to R1 A1 sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by 1 minus epsilon 2 divided by epsilon 2 into R1 square by R2 square. So like this we can show the relation between radiation heat exchange for gray surfaces. Maybe it is a surface enclosure, or maybe it is plates. Okay, for any surface we can able to see, we can derive the equation. Next, radiation shield. We will discuss about radiation shield. So the radiation heat transfer rate between two surfaces can be reduced significantly by placing a thin sheet of high reflectivity, that means very low emissivity. High reflectivity means very low emissivity material between the two surfaces. Okay, so such that means the radiation heat transfer between two surfaces can be reduced by placing a thin sheet of high reflectivity material between the two surfaces. Such highly reflective thin sheets are called radiation shield, and the radiation shields increase thermal resistance in the path of radiation heat transfer, and hence it reduces the heat flow rate. So it increases the thermal resistance in the path of radiation heat transfer, and it reduces the flow of heat. Okay, so that such multi-layer radiation shield constructed of about 20 sheets per centimeter thickness, separated by evacuated space, are commonly used in cryogenic and space applications. Okay, and so here in figure you can able to see there are two plates, 1 and 2, and in between one shield is inserted, a thin shield, and you can able to see how that electrical analogy circuit is drawn, and it is written over here. So between there are two shields, two plates, there are two radiosity will come. So how many radiation shields? Radiosity 4, J1, J31, J2, J32 and J2. Okay, and the corresponding equations or corresponding relations you can able to see here. So first, without radiation shield, the net heat exchange between two planes is given by, we will write the relation for a heat exchange between parallel planes without radiation shield. So Q1 to 2 without shield is A into sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. Therefore, here A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A. Okay. If radiation shield of emissivity E3, emissivity epsilon 3 is inserted between two planes, then the net heat exchange Q1 to 1 to 3 is A into sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T3 to the power 4 divided by 1 minus epsilon 1 plus 1 minus epsilon 3 minus 1, and Q3 to 2 shield is A into sigma into T3 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 by epsilon 3 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. Okay, so since radiation do not deliver or remove heat from the system, then Q13 is equal to Q32. So equating that, Q1 to 3 which is equal to Q3 to 2, and we will get the equation. Therefore T3 to the power 4 is equal to T1 to the power 4 into 1 by epsilon 3 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1 plus T to the power 4 into 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 3 minus 1 whole divided by 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 3 minus 1 plus 1 by epsilon 3 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. Okay. Now substituting equation 4 and 3 and simplifying, we will get with the shield is equal to A into sigma into T1 to the power 4 minus T2 to the power 4 divided by 1 by epsilon 3 minus 1 by epsilon 1 plus 1 by epsilon 3 minus 1 plus 1 by epsilon 3 plus 1 by epsilon 2 minus 1. That is equation number 5. When epsilon 1 2 is equal to epsilon 2 is equal to epsilon 3, then we can get the percentage with shield without shield like this. Okay. uh, then if it is that emissivities are same, then we will get half. If it is n shields are used, then there will be n plus 1 space resistance, so you will get 1 by n plus 1. So the equation is like this. For n is equal to 1, we will get the equation.